I am currently in the Gulf and my phone is full of messages asking if I'm safe. I am, by the way, but there's a part that I hold back. I feel safe. I'm just not too sure whether I deserve to be. A couple days ago, I overheard a British and American expat describing the trauma they felt from a distant missile. The scream of it, the cloud where it was intercepted, the noise. And beside her was a Palestinian woman, nodding and holding their fear as if it was something fragile and worth protecting. She has watched the mass killing of her people for the last 2.5 years. And I kept thinking about how much that costs to hold someone else's fear when no one has held yours. Her grace was visible and her suffering was not. And that gap of what we see and what we allow ourselves to see is not accidental. It is the system working exactly as planned. Decades of political and media conditioning have taught us that violence has a postcode. It happens to certain people in certain places. But when violence whispers near you, something deeper fractures. Not just safety, but the story that made that safety feel permanent. The fear isn't proportional to the danger, there barely is any. It's proportional to the disbelief. But your fear reveals the map you've been given and who's been left off it. You see, some people grew up learning to trust the ground beneath them. We grew up knowing it could disappear anytime. And I sit between these two worlds, a third culture kid born in this apparent safety. So when loved ones message me if I'm safe, I say yes, I mean it. But I can't say it without feeling guilt. Because what I wanted to say was, yes, I'm safe, but I'm not sure that's the right question. I am sitting in one of the most defended cities on earth, and yet I don't feel safe. Because the safety I'm sitting in has a cost I can clearly see. Cities in the West and their stability wasn't given. It was constructed, negotiated, paid for. And the currency used was decades of violence and an existential vulnerability for communities like mine. It's not the missile above me I fear, it's the system that seeks to eradicate my people and their stories. So how could I ever feel safe in a system that has historically endangered people who look like me? What kind of safety am I willing to fight for? One that doesn't need a hierarchy of whose fear counts and whose fear doesn't. You can't opt out of the protection you were born into. None of us can. But you can refuse to let that protection make you indifferent. You can start asking the uncomfortable question of why was it acceptable when it happened to them? That question, when genuinely asked, is one of the most dangerous and radical things you can hold. In a good way. Because it's that kind of question that changes the world.